These railroad tracks near 29th Street and 4th Avenue represent one of the boundaries for South Tucson, a 1.2 square mile city that is completely surrounded by Tucson, Arizona. Locals call South Tucson the Pueblo within the city. While many different cultures live here, including blacks, whites, and Native Americans, Hispanics represent 84% of the population. Home to only a little over 5,000 people and popular Mexican restaurants, the small city is mostly known for its big problems. And this summer was no different. It was past 100 degrees when a young woman and her father traveled from their home in Bell, Arizona to donate a trunk full of food to Casa Maria Soup Kitchen in South Tucson.
We hear a lot of stories that kids and families that don't have much food, so we just want to give them what they don't have.
They just want to help. 51% of South Tucson's over 5,000 people live at the poverty level. To put that in perspective, Tucson, a city of more than 500,000 people, has a poverty level of 19.3% as of 2017.
Me and my brother, we used to chug big giant cups of water as fast as we could because it would make your belly feel full because there was no food in the house. And so, I mean, things like that, I had a pretty interesting childhood growing up. Lucky I had both of my parents. A lot of kids in my neighborhood didn't have both their parents. But my parents worked really, really hard to move us out of poverty, but it seemed like every time they moved up a step in that ladder, it was just more and more struggles. We got to a point once I was like a teen where we weren't poor anymore. You know, we're like almost middle class, and but it was still always a struggle for my parents, and I seen them always stressed out, always worried about how they're going to pay the bills.
Cesar Aguirre has worked at Casa Maria for the past 5 years. The soup kitchen feeds up to 450 people a day, 363 days a year, except Thanksgiving and Christmas. Aguirre and other Catholic workers live off community donations and earn $10 a week. After what he described as a misspent youth filled with gangs and drugs, Aguirre changed his life for the better. Many of the people he grew up with stayed the same.
A lot of the same people that I used to run with on the streets come here to get food. And so that reality kind of keeps me rooted in the work that I do because a lot of them are hooked on heroin right now with the opioid epidemic going on. A lot of them are alcoholics, still hooked on drugs, and they're homeless and they're struggling, and I see them here every day coming to get food.
Brian Flagg works with Aguirre at Casa Maria, except Flagg has been at the soup kitchen even longer. Both men have a lot in common, including their misspent youth. The only difference is that Flagg said he grew up in an upper-class conservative family in a suburb near Los Angeles. He jokingly calls himself just a rich white guy. But he too earns $10 a week. Any money he gets from his parents, he said, is invested into Casa Maria and the people it serves.
That alley right there is the north boundary of South Tucson. And a few years ago, the average income per family was $15,000 a year. The next census, it went up to $18,000 a year. So that's real poor. So we're shining truth on the sin of extreme poverty in the richest, wealthiest, mightiest country the world has ever known. You know, people are motivated to organize. People are motivated to change things. People that have it all, that have it going good, they don't want it to change. They tend to want the status quo. It serves them. But our thing is to flip it.
Various extensive murals seen around South Tucson were created by students from Las Artes, a Pima County alternative high school. Young people, ages 17 to 22, can come here to complete their education while creating artwork. The school's program manager believes that many of the positive things about South Tucson often gets overshadowed.
The economic base of South Tucson has had its challenges, but the culture here is rich and it's vibrant.
Palacios grew up in this city. He said he wouldn't be where he is without the close-knit community, but he also acknowledges the city has its challenges, especially for his students.
There are issues with youth not having enough to eat, and it happens every day with some of our students, and so we with our organization here at Las Artes, we reach out to get them, first of all, to feed them if they're hungry at that moment to support them. But we also communicate with our resources here in Pima County. We are looking at the participants here at Las Artes and discussing the issue, and then bringing their ideas to the forefront. And hopefully not to do this from a top-down perspective, but look at their reality and what has worked for them, what are the youth's needs. And so asking the different students from our different programs, or different cohorts I should say, to participate as a council, to inform us, so that coming together to create a solution. Once we've this council is up and running, we want to connect. There is what's called the South Tucson Youth Leadership Council in this community. So we want our representatives to be part of that.
The Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona plays a major role in helping not only South Tucson, but also various underserved communities throughout Southern Arizona. The food bank has hundreds of partners, allowing it to serve nearly 200,000 people a year who need emergency food assistance. In South Tucson, the food bank provided food to libraries and school districts, among other places.
So what we commonly see is a lot of food drives during the holidays, and that's great, and we're very grateful for them. But summer comes around, and in Tucson and Southern Arizona especially, that is a challenging time for us because many of our volunteers may leave town, many of our food drives may dry up, donations tend to drop during the summer. And we know that people like to go on vacation, they're out of school, families are taking advantage of that free time. At the same time, we see demand staying steady. We see families bringing their children with them into the food bank because summer is here. Kids are home, they're not getting the meals that they're normally provided at school.
Besides the food bank, this is what the church donates.
Hermelinda Montoya serves hungry families nearly every day. Montoya is a liaison for Tucson Unified School District, the largest school district in Tucson. She runs the district's Southwest Family Resource Center, which feeds students and their families.
I serviced a family recently. There was a family of 8. And the reason it was such a large family is that she took in relatives that had lost her home and didn't have nowhere to go. And she just could not make ends meet. And just knowing that we were able to supplement their household made a lot of impact to the children because we were able to give them little snacks that we had, and to them it was the greatest treat that they could have. And for us, it was just something that we had on hand. This past month, I did 70 households. And you figure out of those 70 households, there was 110 children that needed just a little bit extra this past month, just to survive.
Volunteers clean as Casa Maria wraps up another hot day serving the people of South Tucson. It is a team effort. The stack of empty boxes outside the small facility indicates how much food they gave away.
South Tucson's the bottom, the poorest. Well, that's true economically, but I don't think it's true spiritually.
God bless you.
Later on, bro.